What's going on, everyone? I know it's been a little while since I recorded anything. Um, I just want to start off by saying Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's gearing up for the holidays, getting ready to spend time with their family, friends, loved ones. Hope you all are staying safe out there in this crazy world that we're living in today. As I do on every episode of my podcast, I just want to take the time to thank anyone who gives a like, a follow, takes time out of the day to listen to what I have to say. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. Today's episode is called SMH, which for anyone knows out there means shaking my head. And I feel like a lot of people are out there just shaking their heads in disbelief of what's going on in our world today, especially with this current administration that's in power, especially the Mango Mussolini. Um, if it isn't any more evident that Donald Trump does not give a fuck about you, I think lately it's been pretty crystal clear. Um, because of his connections to big oil and corporate America, um, he's pushing this whole initiative for clean coal, which doesn't fucking exist. And he just cut off funding for a lot of clean energy deals, which means people are going to lose their jobs um, because of his hatred towards electric vehicles and his connections to big oil. There are a lot of people that were laid off recently in a Ford dealership or factory, I should say. Right before the holidays. That shows he really cares about you. When you get a pink slip. When he says he wants to make America great again, he means he wants it to go back to being segregated and living off of fossil fuels. Meanwhile, China's laughing all the way to the bank, as they produce more electric vehicles and continue to do deals with Canada and Mexico. Again, just shaking my head in disbelief. Talk about a great businessman. Yeah, okay. He's continuing to roll back regulations for the FDA and EPA. So, get ready for, contaminated food, water, tainted meat. Instead of working on ACA subsidies, he'd rather put his name on the Kennedy Center, so all those people on Medicaid or have a medical plan through the marketplace get ready to lose your benefits or see your premium skyrocket because, that's making America great again. Freaking, again, shaking my head. He's giving farmers a bailout. This one really makes me laugh. So because of your tariffs, farmers are in trouble. The price of food has gone up. So to try and remedy the situation, you're giving farmers a $12 billion bailout, which is being paid with our tax money, of course. So, you're not really helping the farmers, considering that you inflicted the pain. Kind of like if, you shot someone in the leg and then you took them to the hospital. Should they say thank you for taking them to emergency? Or should they be mad at you for shooting them in the first place? He's then giving all military personnel what they call a warrior dividend of, $1,776. But what he's not telling you is that that's coming out of your housing stipend. So literally, he's going in your pocket, taking money, and then giving it to you as a gift. Gee, thanks, Mr. President. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what to do with this administration, this president, this shit show that we're in right now. It's ridiculous. Just when you think things can't get any worse, Mr. President, hold my beer. He is just a vile human being. What he said about Rob Reiner after he was him and his wife were murdered was just deplorable. I mean, most people, even if you don't agree with them politically or their points of views or anything like that, you at least have the decency to say, I'm sorry for the loss. My heart goes out to their families, things like that. Even if you don't really mean it. No, but he goes on a tirade and just totally disrespects the man. And again, just shaking my head in just disbelief. And then another thing that just like makes me scratch my head and then just bang my head against the wall. Nicki Minaj. What the hell are you doing, girl? You are sitting down with Erica Kirk and you're just shucking and jiving and cooning. Is it because you really have conservative views? I mean, you're halfway there. Your husband's a freaking sex offender. Or you think the Republican Party and Donald Trump is going to be your saving grace? I mean, your house is being put up for sale because your husband broke your bodyguard's jaw and you had a $500,000 settlement that you neglected to pay even though you have the money. So now the courts are putting your house up for sale so you can pay the fine that you owe. And I mean, it figures that you would turn to them because they don't hold themselves accountable for any of their wrongdoings, and you fit right in. I mean, it's bad enough you're a joke, your music sucks, so you might as well completely sell your soul. Again, shaking my head. And then J.D. Vance, the mascara wearing, couch humping piece of trash, starts knocking Jasmine Crockett, which just proves that he feels threatened by her. And then he has the audacity to say the United States doesn't have to apologize for being white, or in the United States, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. No one in this country has ever asked anyone to apologize for being white. We've asked you to apologize for being racist. We've asked people to apologize for committing genocide, for enslaving people, for putting people in internment camps, for denying people the right to marry or fight for this country. We ask you to be accountable for treating people like second-class citizens, for raping women and assaulting young girls and taking away people's rights. We ask you to be decent human beings, and apparently that's too much for you guys and the MAGA minions. You always want to make minorities the scapegoat and blame people for your shortcomings or for being mediocre human beings. And heaven forbid that we say we're not going to tolerate that anymore. But, what else do you expect from this administration and from the people that are just so enamored by a freaking pedophile? Yeah, that's right. I said he's a pedophile. What they did with those files from Epstein and over-redacted is going to lead to lawsuits. But, when you align yourself with a man and put him on a pedestal and treat him like a god, you'll do anything to save face. Heaven forbid that you call him out for what he is: a grifter, a crook, a felon, a rapist, and a pedophile. That's what we hold you to a certain standard, to be decent human beings, to run this country properly, and it seems you can't even do that. So, maybe you should apologize. Not for your whiteness, but for being complete assholes, for selling your souls, for trying to scapegoat and treat people like shit. It used to be the norm, I guess, back in the day, but you know what? That shit's ended. We're standing up for our rights, and enough is enough. So, heaven forbid that you be held accountable for your wrongdoings. But that's just me being me, being on my soapbox, just being honest. Well, catch you on the flip side and have happy holidays. Peace out.